7 cheddars you should verify, and 3 real ones. Question the label. Decode your plate. Here's something almost nobody checks in the cheese aisle. You reach for cheddar, one of the most classic, trusted cheeses there is, and you assume you're getting, well, cheese. But a surprising amount of what's sold as cheddar, or dressed up to look like it, isn't legally cheese at all. It's an engineered product built to melt, slice, and sell cheaply, and the label has to tell you, if you know where to look. At Culinary Cipher, our mission is simple: help you see past the marketing and understand what's really in your food. Because better food choices start with better information, not bigger claims on the front of the package. So before you grab that block or bag again, let's verify whether you're buying real cheddar or a clever imitation of it. The whole thing comes down to a few little words. Real cheese has a legal definition, and real cheddar is a short story. Milk, cultures, salt, and enzymes, aged until it's sharp. But the moment a product can't meet that standard, the law makes it change its name. That's why you'll see phrases like cheese product, cheese food, or cheddar flavored. Those words are the tell. Once you learn to spot them, you'll never mistake the imitation for the real thing again. Let's verify the 7 to double check, and then the 3 actually worth reaching for. Number 1, the cheese product and cheese food. This is the big one. If a package says pasteurized processed cheese product or cheese food instead of simply cheese, that's the legal signal that it doesn't meet the standard for real cheese. It usually contains some cheese, but also added oils, water, and emulsifying salts to get that smooth, meltable texture. Verify that single word. Cheese means cheese. Cheese product means something built to resemble it. Number 2, the cheddar-flavored snacks and spreads. Cheddar-flavored crackers, popcorn, dips, and spreads lean on the good name of cheddar while often containing little or no actual cheese. The flavor frequently comes from added cheese powder, colors, and seasonings rather than a real block of aged cheddar. Verify whether real cheddar appears in the ingredients or whether it's just cheddar flavor, because the word flavored is doing a lot of quiet work on those labels. Number 3, the individually wrapped singles. Those convenient orange slices are often pasteurized processed cheese product rather than real cheese, which is exactly why they melt into that uniform, glossy layer. They contain some cheese plus oils and emulsifying salts that give them that signature texture and long shelf life. They're not dangerous, and plenty of people grew up on them. But verify the name, because most singles are a processed product, not a slice cut from a real block. Number 4, the pre-shredded bagged cheddar. Real shredded cheddar can be genuine cheese, but check the ingredients. Bagged shreds almost always include added powdered cellulose or starch as an anti-caking agent, and often a mold inhibitor, to keep the strands from clumping. That's why pre-shredded cheese sometimes melts a little differently and less smoothly than cheese you grate yourself. Verify the extras in the bag, because you're paying for cheese plus a coating you didn't really want. Number 5, the cheddar that's suspiciously cheap and shelf-stable. If a cheddar product sits unrefrigerated on a shelf or costs far less than real aged cheese, that's a clue. Real cheddar is made from milk and needs aging and refrigeration, which costs money and time. A rock-bottom price or room temperature storage often points to a heavily processed product with added oils standing in for some of the dairy. Verify how it's stored and what it costs, because real cheese rarely comes that cheap or that shelf-stable. Number 6, the cheddar spreads and easy melt tubs. Spreadable cheddar and pourable cheese sauces get their smooth, scoopable texture from added emulsifiers, oils, and water blended with some cheese. They're engineered for convenience, and that convenience is exactly why they can't just be called cheese. Verify the label on anything unusually smooth or pourable, because that perfect, never clumping texture is usually a sign of a processed product rather than real aged cheddar. Number 7, the white versus orange confusion. Here's one people get wrong in the other direction. Cheddar is naturally pale, and that familiar orange color comes from annatto, a natural coloring from a seed, added purely for looks. So orange doesn't mean fake, and white doesn't automatically mean fancy or real. Verify by the ingredients and the word cheese, not by the color, because the color tells you nothing about whether it's genuine cheddar or a processed product. Now let's be fair, because the goal is to read labels, not to panic. Processed cheese and cheese products aren't dangerous and exist for real reasons. They melt beautifully on a burger, they last a long time, and they're cheap. If you love a melty slice on your grilled cheese, there's nothing wrong with that. Even the cellulose in shredded cheese is harmless. The point isn't fear, it's honesty. You deserve to know when you're buying real aged cheddar and when you're buying a smooth, engineered product that borrows its name. Then you can pick the processed stuff on purpose for the jobs it's actually good at. It's also worth understanding what you gain from real cheddar, because it's not just snobbery. Genuine aged cheddar develops complex flavor as it matures, from mild to sharp to almost crystalline when it's very old. And it's simply milk, cultures, salt, and enzymes doing that work over months. A processed product can't develop that because it's blended and stabilized rather than aged. So when a recipe or a cheese board really wants the taste of cheddar, the real block delivers something the imitation never can. And for everyday melting, you can still keep the processed slices around for what they do best. Knowing which tool to reach for is the whole skill. It helps to picture the whole cheese spectrum, because there's actually a ladder of these products and the name tells you which run you're on. At the top is natural cheese, real cheddar made simply from milk, cultures, salt, and enzymes. A step down is pasteurized processed cheese, which is real cheese melted down and blended with emulsifying salts, so it still contains a lot of actual cheese. Below that is pasteurized processed cheese food, and then cheese product, each one allowed to contain less real cheese and more added water, oils, and stabilizers as you go down. And at the very bottom sit the cheese-flavored imitations that may contain almost no cheese at all. The wording isn't random marketing, it's a legal ladder, and each rung down means a little less real dairy and a little more engineering. Once you know the ladder exists, a single glance at those words tells you roughly how far from real cheese you've wandered, without needing to read the whole. That's real cheddar, full stop. Buy it as a block and you skip the anti-caking additives entirely, and it'll melt and grate better than the bagged shreds. The shorter the ingredient list, the more real cheese you're holding. Second, grate your own from that block. It takes a minute, and it solves several problems at once. No powdered cellulose, no mold inhibitors, better melting, and often a lower price per ounce than pre-shredded. Grated fresh, real cheddar melts into a smooth, proper sauce instead of staying a little grainy the way coated shreds sometimes do. It's the same cheese, minus the coating you were paying extra to receive. Third, aged cheddar for real flavor. When you want cheddar to be the star, on a board, in a sandwich, snacked on its own, reach for a properly aged block, sharp or extra sharp. Those months of aging are where cheddar's deep, tangy character comes from, and no processed product can fake it. It costs a little more because real aging costs time, and that price is the honest signal that you're getting the genuine article. Here's the quick rule to carry into the store. The front will say whatever sells. Cheddar, melts great, sharp, classic. Ignore it and flip it over. Look for the single word cheese, and be wary of product, food, and flavored. Check whether Real cheese leads the list or whether oils and emulsifying salts have crept in. The moment you see pasteurized processed cheese product or cheddar flavor with little real cheese behind it, you know exactly what you're really holding. It isn't dangerous and nobody's saying skip the melty slice. The point is simpler than that. You deserve to know whether you're buying real cheddar or a smooth imitation wearing its name. You don't need to clear out the cheese drawer tonight. Just flip the package next time you're standing in that aisle. The word cheese, a short ingredient list, and real milk and cultures leading. That's the whole verification. So go check the cheddar in your fridge right now. Look for the words product or food hiding on the label and tell me in the comments what you find. I genuinely want to know how many of you discover your cheddar isn't technically cheese. Because that's what Culinary Cipher is all about. Not telling you what you should or shouldn't eat, but giving you the knowledge to recognize the difference between traditional foods and heavily engineered alternatives. Every label tells a story. Every ingredient is a clue. And once you know how to read them, marketing loses its power and your choices become your own. Question the label. Decode your plate. Because the smartest food choices begin with the truth. We'll see you in the next investigation.